So I was incarcerated. I got sentenced 9 to 20 years in prison for accessory to armed robbery and carjacking. It just happened so fast. It just happens so fast. You just do so much, and then you look up and it's like, oh, I'm finna go to prison. So I feel like when I was told that I was going to prison, it was like so surreal, because I've never been in that type of trouble where I thought that I would end up going to prison. So now I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to do these 9 years in prison?
Right.
And it began.
Can you walk us through the events leading to it, or is that not something that you want to really talk about?
Well, yeah, I could. So it's crazy. It's a long story, but I'm just going to brief it for you. I started dating a guy that I was so in love with, and we started just getting into a lot of trouble together. I started test driving cars off the lot and not returning them to the dealership. So I would go in there and I would dress up and I would dress up and I would go in there, hi, how are you? I'm coming to, look around, look at your cars. I want to test drive your car. Okay, fine. What are you looking for? I would show him the car that I want, and then I would test drive it and never come back. I would take them to chop shops.
Wow.
And they would give us cash for them. So he put me on to that. I would have fake IDs. So, of course, you have to present your license. So they would just take a copy of the license, and then when they give them back to me, they'll put the plate on the car, and I'm gone, and I just never come back. So it's like, okay, I got away with one car. Okay, I could do another one. And then it was like, okay, another one. And then it was like another one. And then it was like another one. And now we're going on like a year now. I'm just this serial, driver just driving off the lot with these cars. And yeah, it became a really big thing. But when they caught me is when they put all the pieces together of all the cars. So now they're speaking on it. But beforehand, it wasn't anything that was like on the news. It wasn't anything that was broadcasted. It was only when I was caught. And it was like, we've been looking for you and we finally have you.
Damn. So what's the day like that they get to you? How does the day happen?
So this is funny. So my homegirl, so the last car that I took, normally when I get the cars, I would take them to the chop shop. They would give me the cash for them. So this particular time, the guy wasn't there. He said, hey, I'm not here. I'll call you. I'm out of town. When I get back, come bring it through. I'm like, okay. So I parked the car. It's sitting. At this time, I lived in Southfield, Michigan. So the car just sitting. About a month later, he calls me. Hey, what's up? Where you at? I'm like, oh, I'm coming through. But I have my homegirl with me. So I'm like, hey, I got to drop you off. I got to take care of something. She's like, okay. So she like, well, could you run me like on Dexter real quick? So I said, okay. So I'm running her on Dexter. So she goes inside this building. So soon as we leave out, the narcos immediately, they flicking us. So I'm thinking she have no idea. She don't know like what I got going on. So they flick us. So I'm in my head like, damn, because I've never got caught in none of these cars. So I'm in my head, I'm just like, okay, the car's finna come back stolen. So I know she's very jazzy. Her auntie's a lawyer. So I'm like, she's finna talk so crazy to them because she don't know what's going on. So in my mind, I'm like, how am I going to tell her, like, don't shut up. Do not talk. So it's men. So I'm like, okay, we're pretty girls. So I'm thinking like, let's try to swindle our way. In my mind, I'm like, we got to try to swindle our way out of this. So he like, what's up? Where y'all coming from? Like just real aggressive. So she like, I just left my sister's house. Like, why? What's up? So I'm like, So he like, dang. He like, yeah, I'm just asking, like, what y'all got on y'all? So we like, nothing. So he like, do y'all mind if I look through the car, look through y'all bag? So I'm like, yeah, because I know we don't have nothing. So she like, no, but they don't have no search warrant. I'm like, bitch, shut up. Let these people look through this car. That's what I want to say to her. I'm just looking at her like, please, girl. So anyway, he looked through the car. He looking through our purse. She's straight irritated. Now he done called a female. So I knew once the female came, like, it's finna be on and popping. Now, he didn't find nothing, but her attitude is shifting him to like, why is she so aggressive?
Yeah.
Boom. Called the female cop. So I said, did you find anything? Could we go? I'm trying to hurry up and leave. He like, no. He like, I already didn't call somebody. He like, you need to check your girl. Like, I'm like, I know. So now the female come. As soon as she came, she went straight up to the front of the car and read the VIN numbers off. She said, who car is this?
Oh my God.
So here go me. Well, it's my cousin's car. They just let me borrow because I need to be getting back and forth to work. Yeah, these stickers are fake. So she like, you get in the car, to my homegirl. She running off at the mouth now. So she like, next time pick better friends. So I'm trying to whisper to her like, listen, they didn't find nothing on us. Can we go? She like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go as soon as I run these VIN numbers. So now I'm knowing like it's a wrap, So she run the VIN numbers. As soon as she ran the VIN numbers, I was standing over talking to the guy, and he was just like, sorry about that. But, your girl, she just wouldn't shut up. It made me believe y'all had more going on. So that's why I had to call the female to, like, search y'all. So I'm just like, it's okay. But now I already know in my mind, like, it's over with. So sure enough, she come back. She whispered to him. He like, ma'am, turn around, put your hand behind your back.
Damn.
So boom, they take us in. And all the guys looking at us, it's the summertime, little booty shorts and stuff on. They like, what are them girls in here for? They like, are you the? So they like, are you the? So everybody laughing like, them? Are you the? So I'm like, well, what is that? So in my mind, I'm just like, oh, this stolen car. The next day, the detectives came and they snapped like, you're finna be gone. It's a wrap for you.
Whew.
And there we go. Yeah.
Wow.
And the story can keep going. Minimized it.
So that's insane. And it all came down to your homegirl just basically not being able to keep her cool, unfortunately, which is hard to do, but it led into them doing more investigation.
Yeah.
And so you have friends that are lawyers, right? At that time while you're
well, it was her auntie that was a lawyer, right?
And so when you guys are in the pen, are you calling her first thing? Like, how are you guys figuring out how to?
Well, they came and spoke to her the next day, and when they came and spoke to her, once she came back in, she said, "Girl, they trying to charge you with that. You better fight it." My aunt just like she was like really irritated with me now because it's like, that bitch had me in what? You know what I'm saying? So she like, what is going, like she have no idea. So now she's like really irritated with me. So they don't even want to help me. They like, this girl is what in the world? You know what I'm saying? Because now they're like, I'm this serial, like I'm a monster to them now. Like she's been doing this for years. Like we have caught her. So it's like, oh, I had no idea because like none of my friends knew.
How could they prove that you've been doing it for years if it was just the one car? Like, how do they?
The cut on my face.
Oh my! I don't even see
every single person that gave a description. They all said she has a cut on her face. Yeah, and of course they have pictures of me. They do have pictures of me. Okay, yeah, so they do have that of me. And then they caught me in the car though. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm in the car, the cut on my face, and then boom, this. And it was like,
damn.
Couldn't get out of that.
So what did they offered you a plea deal or anything like that?
So they did offer me a plea. And the plea was in the beginning, hey, we know that you're not behind all of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer you your freedom to tell. So if you want your freedom, you better start talking. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. So I said that for a little minute. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell nobody in the world knows I'm in this type of trouble, right? So I'm trying to figure out how can I get out of this? So the lawyer comes to me and he say, hey, they saying now they're going to let you go. They see that you're in nursing school. You got a long journey ahead of you. You better think. And I'm like, at the time I was so in love with my boyfriend. I'm just like, I can't do this to him.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. So now I'm calling him. Hey, they're talking about sending me to prison. He like, oh, they're just trying to scare you into telling. Like, I been there, done that. Like, don't listen to them. They don't got nothing on you. Like, you're going to be good. I'm going to make sure. So I'm like, okay, my man got me. I'm straight. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So now the prosecutor come back and say, okay, we're done talking. Now we're going to offer you 4 years in prison. So I'm like, I have to go to prison? He like, yes, it's no deal for you to walk away. So 4 years in prison, but you have to tell. We're still on telling. So I'm like, no. So after maybe a couple of times, they was done with me and they was like, take it to trial. So the lawyer said, now I'm going to let you know right now, if you take this to trial and you lose, you will double that time. I'm telling you.
God.
So I'm like, okay, I'll take it to trial. And I took it to trial. I had a juror trial and I got found guilty.
What's the actual crime committed? Like, what do they charge you with?
Accessory to armed robbery and carjacking.
But where's the armed part of it?
Okay, so the last test drive I was on, a guy rode with us. So remind you, no one never rode with us on a test drive, ever. So this last guy, I'll never forget him, and I need to say his name, Billy Street. So he rode with us on the test drive. So it was me and one of my other friends. This was the only friend that knew about what was going on. She was always with me, my partner in crime. So he he flirting with us. Hey, what I tell my girls is, what I tell my clients is to get a better feel of the car, just test drive it on the freeway. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm about to get him up out the car. This is what I'm thinking, because he's just like all into us. We drive, and I said, well, hey, I don't know my way around the east side because I'm from the west side. I don't know my way around the east side too well. Do you want to, take over? He's like, oh, yeah, just pull over. We pull over. He felt it. I had my seatbelt on. He in the back seat.
Okay.
My homegirl on the passenger side. When we stopped the car, he never opened the door. It was like, you get out first. Yeah. So I'm acting like the seatbelt is jammed. So soon as he it's like he kind of like relaxed. It's like soon as he kind of like looked up at me, like he see I'm like messing with it. It was just like, oh, whatever. He opens up the door. He stayed there with the door open. He's still sitting in the back seat. So I'm like, dang, Misa. I'm like, Misa, can you help me with the seatbelt? She don't know what's going on. She leans over me and she trying to but I'm holding the seatbelt down, but she's like grabbing on the seatbelt. So now he like, oh, maybe the seatbelt really is jammed. Soon as he get behind the car, I just pull off. Listen, he calls the police, calls his boss. Hey, women just robbed me at gunpoint and
So he lied about you guys having a gun on you.
He said, no. He didn't say we did. He said we had a guy come up with a gun and say, get out the car and give me your cell phone. Robbery, carjacking.
So that's not true, though.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Damn.
Billy Street. Yeah, I have to keep saying.
Crazy.
Yeah. So now they're charging me with accessory to armed robbery and carjacking. But so that's like another reason why I'm like, I need to fight this, because that right there didn't happen. So, okay, you can pin all these cars that I have took, but that right there, that particular incident did not happen. But so by law, when you're on a test drive, you're not supposed to get out the car. So as we were doing investigating on Billy Street, come to find out, he had like theft and other things on him. So it would have looked like he was in cahoots with us. So it was kind of like he had to make this story up in order for them to believe him that he wasn't with us, because he has a criminal past and they just decided to give him a chance. He was a young boy, African-American, like a hood guy, so it's like I have to, in order to save my job and my reputation so they don't feel like I'm a part of what they just did, I have to lie on them and say this is what happened.
Oh my God. What's the first phone calls you're making? And do you talk to your boyfriend? Do you tell him, I didn't snitch on you? And
Well, I did talk to him and he said, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you a lawyer and you'll be out soon.
Cool.
So now in my mind, I'm like, okay, he got me. This is what I'm thinking. I'm going to be okay. My first phone call, though, was my father. When I got there, I did call him and I'm just like, sorry. That was just pretty much all I could say, and I'm just like, but I will be home soon. And so now my boyfriend, then I give him a call. And he said, I got you. I'm going to get you out of there. And so maybe 6 months into my sentence, he just stopped answering the phone.